Hello and welcome to another edition of For the Record. I'm Sean Murphy. My guest today is a returning guest to the show from last year, Judith Levi, spokesperson for the 6th annual this year, Free to Breathe Glastonbury 5K Run and Walk, and we'll learn about that and meet Judith again when we come back. So stay with us. Welcome back to For the Record. I'm Sean Murphy. My guest today, Judith Levi. She is spokesperson for the 6th annual Free to Breathe Glastonbury 5K Run and Walk. Judith, you were on the show last year. Welcome back.
Oh, thank you for having me back.
So we are here to talk about, and of course it was the 5th annual. It's the 6th annual, so obviously it was a success last year, and we're back to do it again. So let's talk about the event. What is it?
What it is, it's the community coming together to bring hope and change to lung cancer.
And how long have you been involved in it?
I've been involved actually since the beginning.
Oh, okay.
The first 2 years I actually had teams. It was started by Mary Ann and Les Kinney, who lost their daughter to lung cancer. So they started the first 2 years, and then one of their grandchildren got sick. So they decided that it was now time to, you know, they couldn't do both. So so I ended up taking it over, and I did the 3rd, 4th, and 5th year.
Wow. So. And does it get bigger every year?
It does.
Yeah?
It does, yeah. And you know what it is? We have a lot of returning teams, and we have a lot of new teams.
Right.
And actually, last year, we had 8 survivors.
Oh, wow.
Which is huge because the first year, you know, we had 4. So kind of, well, the first year that I did, 3rd year. So really, in 3 years, we've doubled the amount of survivors.
Now, is that because the word is getting out about the event and it grows and gets bigger? Or is it also because medical advancements are occurring too?
Well, they're baby steps when it comes to lung cancer. But I think, we are seeing a few more survivors, and I think that people, now that we're trying to get away from the stigma that comes with lung cancer, that we're finding more people to speak out.
What is the stigma?
Smoking.
Okay, so people think if you have lung cancer, I mean, and granted, you know, I mean, smoking certainly contributes to it, but it's not the only thing, right?
Correct, correct. And I think it was kind of like when they started AIDS, people thought, well, it was a life choice, that somehow you deserved it. And believe it or not, people today still think that if you chose to smoke, that, you know, you somehow deserve to die from lung cancer. But what a lot of people don't understand is so very few people that actually smoke die from lung cancer. It's only about 21%. So 80% are either former or never smokers, and of those never smokers, they're young women.
I would be surprised if when you tell somebody, if somebody mentions that they have lung cancer, automatically people assume that they smoked, and then they mention to them, I've never smoked in my life, and they're like, what? Well, then how and why do you have lung cancer? How is that possible? But it is possible.
It is possible, and it's happened. I think that the education is starting, even though it's very slow to start. I think people are starting to realize, because more and more people are getting diagnosed.
Yes.
I mean, it's like 18 people an hour die from lung cancer every day.
What are some other causes of lung cancer besides what people assume is just smoking?
Well, there's asbestos.
Yes.
You know, there's chemicals. They're thinking now that it could be even a hormonal thing.
Is that right, really?
You know, I mean, I think, you know, do we really know what causes cancer?
Yeah.
You know, and especially in non-smoking.
Right.
Young women.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, you know, the scary thing is, as medical advancement occurs, and like you said, it's baby steps, they discover more ways that can cause you to get lung cancer in the first place, something they might not even thought of before.
Right.
You know?
And I think that's what a lot of the research is being done now, is to target the different types of cancer, because, you know, there's different types. Even they say it's lung or it's breast, but there's different types of cancers.
Right.
So they're looking at getting treatments that will now target certain treatments.
Now, you mentioned that there are baby steps as far as the medical advancement goes, but there are more survivors that are occurring every day, right?
Right. Well, when Nixon raised war on cancer in 1970 or 73, there was 13% 5-year survival rate for lung cancer. It is now 16.
Wow. Okay.
So when I say baby steps,
that really is
baby steps.
Wow. I mean, it's a step in the right direction, but wow, you would have thought that after all this time, you know, more could have occurred.
Right. Well, there's very little funding.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
And without having the survivors, you don't have a group coming together like you do with the breast cancer survivors.
Right.
You know, when they have a walk for breast cancer,
there's a sea of awareness.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a sea of pink. Where with lung, like I said, having 8, that's huge.
They've got breast cancer has gotten major organizations. The NFL, observes a week of breast cancer awareness where the players on the field are wearing the pink ribbons.
Right. And I think what women really don't understand is that we lose almost twice as many women to lung cancer than breast. I mean, that's someone's mother, aunt, sister. It's twice as many. So if women could just take those pink sneakers and don white for a while, I think the movement would get going.
Let me ask you this. We mentioned that, medical advancements, there are baby steps. What about the advancement in awareness? I know you're on the show for this exact purpose and also to promote the race, as it is a way to raise money and awareness for lung cancer. But in your opinion, the word getting out about lung cancer, how is that going?
Baby steps.
Again?
Yeah.
Really?
Very slow. I'm even amazed when I speak with doctors that they don't know the statistics for lung cancer.
Wow.
They don't realize that so many are former or never smokers. Let's face it, at some point in time, most people at one point, I was a former smoker.
Right.
But to me, to look at someone and think, well, you deserve to die because you smoked, I mean,
that's pretty harsh.
They put rations of cigarettes in all of our military.
Yeah.
It's an addictive, it's addicted habit that people get into. And like I said, only 21% of the people that actually get diagnosed with lung cancer are actually smokers.
Now, your involvement, is it because of personal things that happened to you or your family members in your life?
I'm a 2-time lung cancer survivor.
Okay, wow. Okay,
yeah, my first bout was in 2004. And I actually, because I had quit smoking, so when they found, I have a chest x-ray every year, I was exposed to tuberculosis as a child. So the yearly chest x-ray showed a spot, so we thought, oh, the tuberculosis has finally, reared itself up. And then that spot turned out to be a mass that turned out to be stage 3A lung cancer. And the problem with lung cancer is there's no symptoms.
Is that right, really?
I mean, I had no symptoms.
Right.
I didn't have a cough. I didn't anything. And by the time you have the symptoms, you're stage 4.
Wow.
So that's why they call it the silent killer.
Yeah.
Because by the time it gets to that stage 4, very few people survive stage 4.
Which is another reason why you couldn't encourage people enough to get themselves checked.
Right. Well, now they've just approved CT scans. This was a big thing that was going on, chest X-rays as opposed to CT scans, because to show up on an X-ray, it has to be like the size of, let's say, a $50,
right,
maybe not as big, and then to show up on a CT scan, you're talking like a pea.
Right.
But you're not going to go to your doctor, and they're just not going to give you a CT scan.
Yeah.
So, but if you're a smoker or have a history of smoker or lung cancer in your family, they have now approved that because the research that they did found that they are saving lives by doing that.
Now, so in other words, the earlier you detect it, the better chances you have.
Just like any other cancer.
Right. So they can start working on it.
Right, but there's never been any screening.
Yeah. Is it true that regardless of when you quit smoking, regardless of how much you've smoked in your life, if you stop, do your lungs actually improve at that point?
Well, I think your lungs do improve, but I think that you're always at risk for, it's not even, lung cancer or any other kinds of cancer.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, if you have friends or family members that have smoked, then you're subjected to secondhand
smoke,
too.
right.
So what can you do?
Right, and so many of the people that I have met, because I've been part of the lung cancer community now since 2005, because I was first diagnosed in 2004, and so many of the people that I have met who have lost their battle have been non-smokers. Yeah. And for them, it's very difficult because
even they can't understand sometimes, at least initially.
Right. My friend Gina was 39 years old when she died. She died with 2 young boys, but she used to get very upset because the first thing people would not say to her, "Oh, I'm so sorry." It's like, well, "Did you smoke?"
First question, always.
First question. It's like saying, "Oh, you had a heart attack." Oh, what, you eat red meat? It's like, it blows my mind that people ask that question.
Well, just on the subject of smoking, maybe you can answer this. What's the difference between lung cancer and, say, emphysema, which is also connected to smoking?
Well, emphysema is pretty much within the lungs, and I'm not a doctor, but that's what where with cancer, it kind of spreads throughout your lymph node system.
Lung cancer isn't just necessarily restricted to the lungs.
Correct.
It can spread. Right?
Correct.
Now, since, you were talking about breast cancer and how there's so much awareness about that, and it's so out there in the public, I would imagine that when lung cancer survivors get together, first of all, it's a happy occasion, but also it's a struggle to do what you have to do to get the word out, because it's not like you're in competition with other organizations, but you know, it's almost like they're getting all the notoriety and you have to struggle for every little thing that you can do.
Very true, very true. And I think, you know, what we have is Glastonbury, our walk, is a very small community. You know, we're not downtown Hartford. You know, we haven't grown to that size. We had over 500 registered walkers last year, which we were, you know, that was really, we were really pleased with that.
And the goal is to have a little more than that this year, if possible.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
Well, let's talk about it briefly, and we'll get into it in the second half of the show too, but it's the 6th annual Free to Breathe Glastonbury 5K run and walk. So you have the option of doing either or, right?
We actually have, it's a fun run walk, so it's not anything that's being timed or anything, and we actually have a 1 mile.
Okay.
So you can walk the 1 mile.
And 5K, is that longer than a mile, just for people just doing the math?
Yeah, it's like 3.2 miles, I think it is,
right.
And it's all flat terrain.
Okay, so no hills or anything?
Right through the neighborhood, right around Glastonbury High School. And we're also doing a kids trot this year.
Oh yeah, is that right? How about pets? Are they allowed to be involved?
No pets.
Okay, no pets.
No.
How about baby strollers?
Yeah, we love the baby strollers.
Okay, especially they have those ones now that you
they
have
can
the
run.
big wheels. Yeah, they can run with them too.
Yeah, they do.
And rain or shine event?
Rain or shine.
Okay, and you're going to be, you're in it every year anyway.
Yep, I'm going to be there this year, yep.
Yeah, you do the walk. Do you do the 5K or do you do the mile? Or?
Well, it depends. This year I'll probably do the mile because I'm also kind of coordinating the volunteers. So we make sure that everything gets done and runs smoothly and everybody has a good time.
Right.
So.
And it's so easy for things to fall through the cracks without people, you know, being very hands-on and meticulous with the event.
And we couldn't do it without our volunteers.
Yeah. Let's give people a website so they can go and learn more.
Yeah, it's www.freetobreathe.org.
And you had mentioned that you're involved with social media, so I would imagine there are links on there to go to Facebook. And
yeah, we have a Facebook page. You can like us on Facebook, Glastonbury Free to Breathe.
All right. Take a short break and come back. Judith Levi, spokesperson for the 6th annual Free to Breathe Glastonbury 5K Run Walk. We'll take a break and be back. I'm Sean Murphy. This is For the Record. Stay with us. Welcome back to For the Record. I'm Sean Murphy. My guest today, Judith Levi, spokesperson for the 6th annual now Free to Breathe Glastonbury 5K run and walk. There's also a 1 mile walk too if you want to just do a shorter distance. And it really doesn't matter. Like Judith, you said in the first segment, it's not timed. It's not a race. All it is getting out and getting a little exercise and showing support and raising some money for a great cause to try to help fight lung cancer. So, you know, since we did mention, you know, raising money, I thought we'd talk a little bit about, you know, the fundraising aspect of it, where the money goes, the research that it helps out, and things of that sort.
Right, well, people form teams, and some people do it individually, and then basically all of the money for the Glastonbury Free to Breathe goes for lung cancer research.
Okay, so it all goes for that. It
all
doesn't,
goes.
You know, sometimes something goes to a, you know, sort of a general fund and then just kind of get divvied out to different things, but this is all for the cause.
All of this, and since 2005, the National Lung Cancer Partnership, who drives the Free to Breathe, has given $3 million to young researchers who put in for grants to do research for lung cancer.
Now, I was going to ask you, obviously private funding from teams that sign up, or any individual who wants to donate financially certainly can.
Absolutely.
Right? But how about like corporate or company donations or sponsorships? Are they involved in it as well?
Yeah, we have sponsors and everything's right on the website.
Right.
All the sponsors are listed that we have. They go on to our shirts. They go on to the signage. We have a lot of in-kind sponsors who donate. We have food, we have water, we have face paintings. So we do a lot the day of the event.
Now, I have no doubt that I asked you this question last year because we're still in an economic downturn now. So are you finding? Did you notice last year that people were still willing to give regardless of the economy?
Absolutely.
And are you assuming the same thing will occur this year?
Absolutely. We raised last year almost $74,000 for lung cancer research. And like I said, we're a small town community.
Right. That's not telling what the Hartford ones are doing and things like that.
Yeah, we don't reach that category. We're working our way to it, but we haven't.
But as long as it grows every year, that's a good thing, right?
Exactly.
Now, how about the corporate aspect? Are they still willing to give and sponsor?
Yeah, we've had a little bit harder time this year, and I think part of it is because of the economy. But people are still pretty generous.
Yeah.
So I think when we get less sponsorship, people push a little harder to get their own.
Right.
funding.
And so now, so there's the financial aspect of it too, but you're also always looking for volunteers too, correct?
True.
All right, and what do they need any special skills, or can they just help out in any way?
We're actually pretty good. We've had, for the last 3 years, most of the people that volunteer are my family and friends.
Is that right? Really?
So we have
so
actually
you've calling up a lot of people.
I call in favors.
Yeah.
And we have 41 volunteers this year.
Wow. And what kind of tasks do they do? It could be anything.
Yeah, we have a welcome table. We have a donation table. We sign people in. They pick up their shirts that day. We have, like I said, the face painting. We'll do the trots. We have food. We have a DJ that plays. So because it starts at 8:30. We do a rally and spokesperson, and then at 10 o'clock the race starts.
Right. And how long does it usually last? I guess it depends on whoever the last
person crosses
the finish line.
Yeah.
Now, how do you coordinate it with the town of Glastonbury? I'm sure they're very supportive, but what's the process?
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing is getting the high school.
Okay.
So we have to get the high school.
Right.
Then we work with Parks and Rec to barricade off the roads and that kind of stuff, and the Glastonbury Police Department, obviously.
Right. So they're involved too. Their support is just by donating their time and
materials that we need,
and the town facilities too.
Right.
How crowded does it get there? Like you said, a decent amount of people last year.
Well, Glastonbury High School is a big school.
It is. It's very big.
It is. And we have a plaza area, and then we try to set up in the main roads, and then we have the grass area. So we kind of try to spread things out. The hardest part is we do the run first.
Right.
Let the runners
not at the
go.
Same time as the walk.
No, we let the runners go first.
Right.
Get them out of the way.
Then they're going to finish first.
Right. Then we let the 5K people go, and then the 1 mile.
Right.
So as the 1 miles are going out, a lot of the runners are coming back.
I know you said it's not timed and it's for a good cause and nobody's keeping track, but some of these runners are very competitive and they want to win the race. They understand that it's for a good cause and it's for awareness and to raise money. They want to win the race.
Which is why we keep saying fun run. Because they do, right. They're looking really for their little,
Yeah, they want to cross that finish line and break the,
no, we don't
rib.
have that.
Nothing on purpose, probably, right? Have you ever, since you've been doing it, and you've been doing it since the first year, has weather ever been an issue for you?
Never.
Wow, let's knock on wood for that.
Yes, and I think it's all the people upstairs that make sure that sunshine. We have not had 1 year of rain.
Wow. And if it does occur, if there are weather issues, you're going to do it anyway.
We're going to do it anyway.
Right.
Yep.
And the people
we could open up into the school if we had to.
Right.
Hopefully we won't have to do that.
Okay, so that's a possibility.
Right, because they do open the school so we can use the restrooms and stuff like that. So yeah.
And you wouldn't want it. Has it cooperated in the sense of not like an oppressively hot day?
No, it's because it's September.
That's true. So it's not, the dog days might be over. It's still nice out.
It's a little chilly, we get there at, 6:30 in the morning to start setting up. It's a little chilly, but by the time everybody starts coming, everything.
I've noticed a lot of the nonprofits, their walks and their 5K runs, they do have a tendency to do it late, maybe September or something like that, because it is cooler. You try to do these things in the dead of summer, and you don't want to run into a situation of heat exhaustion or anything.
Right, and actually November is Lung Cancer Awareness Month in the state of Connecticut. I worked with Senator Hanley back in '06 to get that bill passed with Governor Rell. So we don't want to do it in November.
Yeah.
Because then
then it's too convoluted and
could
too
snow.
Cold. Yeah, that's right. And New England, gosh, you could have a warm day one day and snow the next day.
We had such a good winter last year, but you can't count on that.
It's exactly what I was thinking. Such a calm and non-snowy winter. Lord only knows what's going to happen for this winter too. But we'll keep our fingers crossed and we'll knock wood on that. Right. And again, knock wood that there'll be cooperative weather for the events. It is September 16th. That's a Saturday.
Sunday.
Sunday. And it starts early, 8:30.
Registration begins at 8:30.
Then you have the rally that you said. What happens after the race? When everybody is all done, the walk is wrapped up, what happens then?
Well, I forgot to mention, we have a silent auction.
Okay.
So when people come back off, then they'll notify who won the silent auctions, and I think we're giving trophies this year. I hope I'm not talking out of turn, like to the highest fundraising team and stuff like that. So, and then we kind of wind down.
So how many members are on a team?
You can have as many as you want.
Okay, and their job is to raise money and support. So they need to get in with their friends if they're a member of the team and have themselves be sponsored.
Right, exactly.
And the goal is to just get a little bit more than you did last year. And so far, every year, it's grown, right? It's successful.
It has. Right. And I think that part of when you go to ask someone to, support you, that you're doing this run or you're doing the walk, I think that's part of the education of the awareness.
Right.
is talking to because you tell your story. Why are you connected?
Do you think that the coming together of like-minded people, survivors, and also family members and friends, do you think that's one of the best ways to get the word out, just having people be together and talk amongst themselves, share experiences?
Absolutely. And last year I actually had time to go around and talk with people, and everybody's at a different stage. Yeah. Some people just got diagnosed. Some people that were there just lost a loved one. Yeah. So everybody's very tough. And we actually, 2 years ago, we had speakers that had lost a loved one.
Oh, okay.
And I remember, I'll never forget it, one of the girls came up to me from Team Tony crying because her dad had just got diagnosed. So you don't really, and so I said after that, okay, I promise we won't do any more sad stories. We'll have survivors talk, or we'll try to find someone else. That's always hard
uplifting
exactly.
stories, yeah.
Wish I could find a comedian.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly right. But like you said, you got music, you got a DJ playing, maybe hopefully upbeat music. So
absolutely.
This is supposed to be a good time,
right.
Raise awareness and raise money, but it's a good time. And you're doing something healthy for yourselves, too, by walking or running.
Right. We have brownies and muffins, though, too.
Well, listen, you need those carbs, especially at the end of the race.
Right, exactly.
But who doesn't enjoy a muffin in the morning?
Right,
Brownie?
exactly.
Well, I can have that anytime, though, too. Now, your role is different this year than it's been in the past, right?
Right. I am not the event coordinator this year. Jessica's doing that this year.
Now,
she's taking over.
What did that entail when you were the event coordinator? Obviously, it's a lot more than
right, because basically the part that I'm doing this year is coordinating the volunteers.
Okay.
And I'm handling the money part for her.
Okay.
But Jessica's the one that did all the papers. A lot of paperwork when you want to use a school and you need to get to Park and Recs and getting the insurance.
You got to wait for people to get back to you too, right?
Yeah.
That's the tough part.
And with the school, we always have to wait till July.
Because they're not back, because the place is
they
shut
have to
down.
get everything else scheduled before they could get, but we've never had a problem. They have been wonderful.
Are you usually able to have it around the same time every year?
Same weekend.
Same weekend.
Yeah.
So obviously, you use the school most of those years?
Right, because we can't have it on a weekend when there's an event going on in town that they may need the school buses, because then they park the cars there. So, we have to coordinate that there's nothing else going on in town. That weekend always seems to work.
Right, so might as well, why rock the boat?
Exactly.
Just keep on doing it, too.
It's not broken.
And the fact that it's a big turnout and you seem to grow it every year too. It's a good weekend in that respect too.
Right, and if you go to the website, you'll actually see a lot of the photos from last year because we have a photographer that comes every year.
I was going to ask you, so what is on the website for people to go and see?
Yeah, they can actually see pictures from last year's walk, and they find out more about the walk, where it is, more about the lung cancer, National Lung Cancer Partnership.
Is that where you kind of form your team? You sign up and all the information online?
All right there on the website. Right. Yep.
Okay. And is there like a minimum that members have to earn, or is just whatever they can helps?
No.
Okay.
No, we don't have that.
All right. Well, it's the 6th annual Free to Breathe Glastonbury 5K Run Walk, and also a mile walk too, which will be after the runners. Get them because they're going to finish first.
Right.
And it's Sunday, September 16th, starting at 8:30. And then the races after that, and plus the silent auction. What kind of prizes and things that will be there to auction?
Well, we have a Pandora bracelet. We have some brunch tickets. I mean, we have a lot. Some people make baskets.
At what point during the whole day does the auction?
That goes on. It starts at 8:30, and that closes just before the walk at 10 o'clock.
Okay, so it's before the races themselves.
And then when they come back, they'll see who won.
All right.
In the bidding.
So form a team, or if you'd like to just maybe make a financial donation or to volunteer. Go to the website again, which is
www.freetobreathe.org.
Judith Levi, spokesperson for the 6th annual Free to Breathe Glastonbury 5K Run Walk and a Mile Walk. Thanks once again for being on the show.
And thank you.
And thank you for joining us for another edition of For the Record. I'm Sean Murphy. We will see you next time. Take care.